Um, Hello, I'm Nathan Trickett, and I'm doing my ethical dilemma based on medicine and specifically blood transfusions versus religious beliefs. So, um, the reason I picked this moral dilemma or ethical situation is because I want to go into the medical field and eventually become a doctor. And as a practicing physician, you will run into a ton of ethical differences and concerns that you'll have to evaluate and eventually decide what the right thing to do is. And even though there's a lot of legal matter involved, there's a lot of other things involved in that. So the moral dilemma that I chose and looked into was about a 15-year-old boy that needs a blood transfusion after a car accident, but the parents refuse the transfusion because of their religious beliefs. And I, the physician in this matter, need to decide whether to do the transfusion or to respect the parents' wishes and the wishes of their religion. So, personally, how I would handle this situation is I would try to sit down with the parents and explain to them step by step what will happen with the transfusion if eventually they decide to give it to them, and I will try to explain the potential harm of the situation and all the potential consequences that come along without giving the child a transfusion. And if they are still very against the transfusion and say no because they have the legal right, then I would consult all the legal matter and found out what I can do to resolve the situation in the best way possible for the child. Personally and ethically, I would want to treat the child as an individual, because obviously you never know what the child's wishes are, especially if they're unresponsive or in a coma or anything like that. So obviously you want to treat the child as an individual apart from its parents, but as I will get into, the right choices versus the legal and ethical choice. Parents in this case have the legal right to make medical decisions for their children, regardless of the outlook of the child. So that basically means that the children, they don't get to make the decisions that the parents want in the matter, and this is backed by legal matter too. So in the First Amendment is the free exercise of any religion, and that can influence all medical decisions. So in the legal matter, in the legal eyes, the doctor has to respect the parents' wishes regardless of the ethical want to intervene, and they actually have no right legally to give a transfusion. So the question stands that is it really ethical for a physician to sit back while a child potentially gets harmed? And ethically, I think this is a problem, and as a doctor, you'll run into situations like this, and you'll have to it might weigh heavy on your conscience and on your ethics a little, but legally you cannot do anything but respect the wishes of the parents. That gets to my next thing. So now we're doing a little change of story, and the child that was involved in the car accident that needs a transfusion, their heart suddenly stops and they must be rushed to emergency surgery, and now they need a transfusion or else there could be life or death consequences to this. So now the physician has free range and has a legal right to give the transfusion, going against the parents' wishes no matter the circumstance, and that is a legal matter. So an overview of what I've gotten into and talked about, that no matter the circumstance or ethical want as a physician can want to do something or want to ethically change a situation, they must obey the law when it comes to these matters, and it's not up to their decision. A lot of times it's up to the law and to their doctorate. So Physicians that break these laws, they're subject to malpractice and will lose their license of a practicing physician, and they will also face legal punishment. Overall, I think there's a lot of ethical matters within the medical field, and I think managing those ethical problems in the right way is a really difficult situation for many doctors. And as I said before, it weighs heavy on a lot of doctors' consciences. So being able to see these ethical decisions and matters, and trying to decide the right things and what to do legally, and also in the best choice for the individual, while also respecting certain guidelines, is a very difficult thing. And I give all my credit to the doctors out there that have to deal with this type of stuff. Thanks.